Welcome to Through the Drama. Happy Wednesday to you. Chris Harris and Lauren Zima with you. I hope you're having a great day, or at least I hope you had a great day, because we're about to put a little damper on it. Well, at least Michael Douglas is about to.
Oh, no. Give us the everything is about to change.
All right. Ladies, gentlemen, everything is about to change.
And not in a good way. I wish you'd said that on The Bachelor.
It was never in a good way. By the way, anytime I was the Grim Reaper on the show, anytime I walked in the room, it's not like I ever brought in good news.
You know what? I've never asked you this. Can you think of a moment? Was there ever a time when you were like, I get to go in and just deliver some joy right now?
There were those rare moments when I got to say, we're off to Hawaii, or we're off to Fiji, or, that was exciting. But most of the time, yes, Cleveland, Ohio. Yeah. But most of the time it was, I'm here to break your heart and to tell you that something tragic is happening. And
now I'm in interview mode. Let me ask you one more question I've never asked you. Can't believe I've never asked you this. Which breakup did you feel the worst about in the history of the show?
Oh gosh, what a question. I don't know specifically, but I just remember it's this long line of, as a dad, you think of these moments when you'll take your daughter's arm and walk her down the aisle. And I can't wait for that moment with Taylor. I, for 20 years, had the opposite effect, where I took girls' hands in my arm and I would walk them to a breakup.
Yeah.
And it's the word, and thinking they were going to be proposed to.
That's messed up.
And by this point, if you're in the final two, I've gotten to know you. Typically, I have a fond relationship with you. You're a friend. And to know I'm just walking you to your demise. Now, there were times when I thought, you're dodging a bullet here, sister. And I wish I could tell you that. And that was probably more times than not. And I just wanted to say, don't worry about it. You're going to be the Bachelorette, and you're going to have your choice next.
Did you know at that point who the Bachelorette was going to be?
A lot of times, yeah.
All right. Well, that's a conversation for another day. We actually should do a whole episode where I'm just like, these are things I've never asked you about the show.
Peppering questions.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Well, let's get now to some news that I've been trying to avoid. So a couple episodes ago, I talked about and was freaked out about the future of AI. And I said, why wasn't this a bigger issue in our election? I keep hearing everywhere that everything's about to change. And I said, I wish I had a senior citizen to maybe give me some reassurance or put some perspective on this and tell me, hey, don't worry so much. When we all thought the Cold War was happening, we thought that was the end of the world, or we thought Vietnam was the end, or whatever. And this is just another one of those moments. Well, that senior citizen has come to me, but he's not telling me what I wanted to hear. Michael Douglas, in a new interview, says, and I quote, "This is the worst time that I can ever remember." Yes, the actor is talking at the 71st Taormina Film Festival, says, I was born at the end of World War II, but in my lifetime, this is the worst time I can ever remember. There's too much conflict in the world. He also talks AI and says of the future, I'm very pessimistic because of what I see happening with social media. And they're telling us, oh, we'll get the guardrails on AI. I don't think they are. The technology is just beginning. He says, I was at a conference recently with a lot of major tech experts. Michael Douglas, reporting from Breaking News from the Ground, says, and they all said in the next 5 years or less, you're not going to recognize this planet.
Agree or disagree?
With Michael?
Yeah.
I suppose agree, because he knows better than me. He's an elder. He's what I wanted.
Well, no, but you have your own opinions of your life and your perspective and experiences. What do you think? Do you agree it's the worst?
Do I think this is the worst time I've ever lived in? No. Actually, if we're breaking it down point by point, I don't agree with that. I think it feels like the worst time because social media gives us access to all the conflict all around the world. People we don't know over in Kansas or Maine I'm like aware of their issues and problems. And I don't think that that's healthy or real.
I think that is a good perspective. I think there is a lack of civility. I think depending on your algorithm, social media, the relentless 24/7 news cycle that didn't used to exist. There's so many things that, and you always have a very good perspective on this, where you say we weren't meant to ingest this much information all around the world. When I grew up, there was the nightly news and you would kind of see what's happening around the world, but you got a snippet of that.
I hate to say it. I don't mean to say we shouldn't care about conflicts the world over, but we can't. What can we really do? And I think we have to be better about turning to our community and fixing the localized problems we have and taking care of our own. That's what we're meant.
But I do think there is this divide now that has been created. And I think there's a lot of reasons for that. But this divisiveness that has been created, whether it's the social media algorithms or whatever, where we are pushed further and further to our corners, where curiosity, debate, conversation is out the window. It's you need to believe in me and everything I believe in, or you are wrong and you lose your rights. You lose your right to live, your right to work, your right to speak. And that part of the lack of civility is bothersome to me.
I think you're right. There's always been conflict, but we've lost decorum and civility. And in part, it's because the algorithm is, FYI, I mean, the algorithms are designed to bring you conflict because they know that people comment more and get more invested in conflict. They're not designed to just bring you joy. You don't comment on that.
Right.
So they're feeding us that. And we all want to be seen and we all want to be heard. And conflict is kind of an easier way to do that catches more eyes, I think.
It's do
you agree with Michael on AI?
Well, this is going to be the interesting thing. I think AI is going to do one of two things. It's either going to make things worse, or it may be to the point where things are so fake and we don't know what's real, what's fake, that social media may disappear in the next few years. And maybe it's a good thing.
Maybe we'll turn it off because we don't know what to believe on it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay. Well, Liz, I took Michael's comments to heart because I think Michael Douglas has access to, he's going to these conferences apparently that I'm not invited to. But more than ever, we're going to have an AI expert on the show and talk about this.
Yeah. And coming up next, one thing we do know, having more wives, not necessarily the answer. That's next. Welcome back. LZ, did you watch the show Sister Wives?
I've seen clips, didn't watch it.
Okay. I didn't. I know of it as well. But what was interesting is this, the guy.
Big hit, by the way.
It was a big hit.
It's been on for like 10 years on TLC, the show about Cody Brown and his multiple wives.
He was married to four women, I believe. And he divorced 3 of them. Still married to one.
That's a track record like The Bachelor.
Yeah, exactly.
Well. Okay.
So there's a picture of Cody and the sister wives. It's amazing they all have smiles. Although some of those smiles don't look real. They don't look genuine. It's like, oh, I'm biting my tongue here. But so he divorced 3 of the women, and they asked him about getting back into polygamy and multiple marriages. And he says, hell no. He says, no. And they said, why? He says, because I tried it and it failed. What do you think?
This was on their reunion episode. I'll be honest, I think I'm just learning the show's still on, but I appreciated his candor. An interesting take. We had talked with an expert on the show about whether we think thruples can work. This man tried polygamy for well over 10 years, and he's saying it failed. And what's interesting to me is that the wife he's still married to, Robin, the brunette, I do remember reading in headlines over the years, all the other women said from the beginning, like they didn't really like Robin because they could tell they had a different connection. And Cody has actually said, from the moment I saw her, I couldn't part my eyes from her. And it is kind of this interesting experiment in front of all of our eyes. He tried dating multiple women, and I think it tells you we really are meant to be with a life partner, that he didn't divorce all of them. He's still with her.
You know, one thing I did learn on The Bachelor after 20 years is there are definite ways in which we can love multiple people. You can love things about multiple people, even at the same time. You cannot be in love with multiple people. And there's a big difference between those two things. You can't love 4 women, be married to them the same, and have the same devotion, the same. It's just... And by the way, it just seems exhausting.
I was going to say, I also think it doesn't work. Like one of the wives talked about how the reason they split up, I forget which one, but was because he didn't spend enough time with their kids. You know, I don't know how can you have the time to devote to all these wives and children? And he's still with the one wife, Robin. He says it failed. My question is, if you...
Yeah.
Well, okay, sorry. Let me go back to this. I think that the only reason, and I don't mean to crap on their marriages, but I think the only reason the other ones lasted this long is probably because of the show.
Probably.
Like you're making money off the show. It's become your livelihood. That was how they made their money. I think these marriages kind of became work in a way. They're filming a TV show for over 10 years.
No one looks happy here.
Okay. All right. Moving on.
Yes. Speaking of, I got to get your take on this next
Okay,
story.
so Celine Song, if you don't know her yet, she's the director and writer of the new rom-com out, The Materialists. She also shot to stardom last year because of her movie Past Lives that she made. It got multiple Oscar nominations. Well, the director has now shared her all-time favorite movie, the movie she can't stop watching, and it's her go-to. Let's listen to this clip from The New Yorker.
The truth is that if you ask me what is the last movie you want to watch in a movie theater in your life, let's say it's the last movie you can see, I would always say Zootopia.
So, look.
So this clip is going everywhere. I saw it all over my Twitter. People tweeted it and somebody captioned it. I guarantee you have no idea what movie she's about to say.
I was watching this for the first time this morning. I'm like, that can't be real. Zootopia. And it made me think, well, maybe that's why The Materialist is not getting the best reviews and people are reluctant to go see it.
You know what's interesting?
Now I see.
The Materialist is getting good reviews, but everyone we know who's gone to see it.
Not from viewers.
Has told us don't go see it. I don't trust the critics anymore. I think it's a tough time to be a critic, and I don't think they really say how they feel. But
what do you think about Zootopia being the movie you would want to end all days with?
This became a bit of a back and forth that I was seeing in my feed because some people were saying, you guys, like, this is the movie you don't pick an art house film for
Right.
this. You pick a go-to movie, but it's an animated movie. I mean, it's a good animated movie. My go-to that I'd want to watch forever would be like Pretty Woman,
Right.
or The Fugitive, or Jurassic Park. What are you going?
Jurassic Park. It's a
good movie.
It's a little dark though. No. You know me. I'm probably going to go Notting Hill.
Yeah. Zootopia.
Zootopia. Zootopia.
I keep saying Zootopia.
The more you say it, it doesn't get better. It's not a better answer. And sadly, it just makes me think of her less as a movie person.
I agree, actually. And I do think it is making people look at her as a writer-director a little bit differently.
One of the movies I think would be on my list, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Okay.
I think it's a Tarantino movie. It's one of my favorite movies ever made. Leo, Brad Pitt, they were so good in it. And there is going to be a follow-up to this. Brad Pitt's character, Cliff Booth, he was kind of the stuntman for Leo and kind of this fixer guy. They are going to do a Netflix series, a Netflix movie about Brad Pitt's character.
You're excited about
I'm
this.
very excited about this.
Carla, I never say her name right, Gugino or Gugino, joining the Cliff Booth movie. Remember yesterday when we talked about how you'd never seen Pride and Prejudice?
Yes.
I've never seen Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Okay, that's not as egregious as My Foul. Definitely, I will. That's still a big L for me. I think you should see Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, but Tarantino is very divisive. I think some people love him.
I like Tarantino
I love his movies. Some people are like, because there is some gore and the shock factor, and there is a little bit of that in this movie. But I just love the way he spins a tale. I think he's brilliant.
Well, I did want to bring up, because I pondered and realized there was one movie you couldn't believe I'd never seen, and this just happened a couple days ago.
This one is, I think, very much on par with Pride and Prejudice. This is real, people.
We were about to get on a plane, and I don't know why we were talking about it, but I said, you know what I think I'm going to watch on the plane because I've never seen it? Jerry Maguire. Our producer Deb's jaw just dropped. I had never seen Jerry Maguire. Let me tell you guys, cannot recommend it enough. What a film. Big hit. If you haven't, check it out. Tom Cruise, maybe you've heard of him. Renee Zellweger, little known star.
Cuba Gooding Jr., pretty good in it.
Yeah, Jay Moore. What a cast in this one. It's going to tear up the theaters. Tearjerker. I cried multiple times.
I can't believe you're reviewing Jerry Maguire.
There's this part where he says, you'll want to hear Tom say it, but he says, "Show me the money." And what a line. Really sticks with you.
Please stop.
Incredible film.
Oh, I thought my Pride and Prejudice was bad, but this did shock me the other day.
You know what's great, though, about this time? And I thought we need to tell our kids to do this. Because of streaming, you can download anything in the drop of a hat. We used to have to go to Blockbuster. Use your time on planes, everybody, to see some great movie you've never seen.
Well, that is true, because when you get on planes, because great movies haven't been made really in the last 5 years, and that's usually what's kind of in the queue on the planes.
Yes.
You go back and watch the classics.
I watched Jerry Maguire and I cried multiple times. Oh no, now I'm blanking on the wonderful actress who plays Cuba Gooding Jr.'s wife in the movie, Regina Hall.
Yeah.
And their relationship, actually, I loved their relationship even more than
You aspire to have that
their
love affair.
love. Oh my God, I didn't know.
They were definitely the anchor in that movie.
What a film. Okay.
What a film. I don't know how we just got off on that. Speaking of Tarantino, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Brad Pitt. So he has the big movie F1 coming out next week, I think, the 27th. And he said, if I could give advice to my younger self, don't get distracted by that beautiful picture. He said his advice would be, don't sweat it, bro. Trust yourself.
Saying this in a new interview.
Yeah.
Okay, well, what do you think of his advice?
Well, and Javier Bardem, who co-stars in F1 with him, went on to kind of add, they said, don't try so hard. Don't push yourself. Trust, I don't believe in all that.
So hard.
Trust your inner voice, your intuition more. And I do agree partly with that of hey, relax. If I could talk to my younger self of like, relax, but I just had this conversation with our son Joshua yesterday, who's 23 years old, and he is in the grind mode. That's what you do when you're in your young 20s. And it's like, you can't relax. That's not the time to relax. It is the time to be aggressive, assertive, patient, but if you're not going to push, no one's going to just hand you the winning lottery ticket.
We were giving advice to our kids and some of their friends the other day. There's a big thing right now with work-life balance, and they all talk about it a lot, and it's very much in the culture. But I've given the advice before, at this age, what life are you balancing with your work? And I think what we're not telling the younger generation when we're giving them this advice is like, the work-life balance thing is for later when you have children to raise and significant things in your personal life. If you don't throw it all into work right now, I'm actually not sure you'll have that great of a life to balance later. Work is where I met some of my best friends. Work is where you develop relationships. And if you hustle now, then later you will be able to be more successful and have that balance you're looking for. If you're the person in the office right now who's like, oh, sorry, work-life balance, guess what? Nobody is going to be giving you that promotion. I
think there is this kind of modern mental health thing where it's like, well, it's all about work-life balance. And it's what you're saying is you just don't want to work. And you would like to be on this permanent vacation and that it's owed to you. And it's not right now. Mm-hmm. And it's not. And I would actually say to the other side, I loved grinding. I love that time in my life. When I look back at the most enjoyable time professionally, it was when I was starting out in my sportscasting career and local news.
You're in the trenches with your coworkers, you're building something.
It is. It's a great thing. It's that maybe trauma bond.
Very much. You make some of your best friends there, so don't miss out on that.
Yeah.
I will say I liked the trust your inner voice part of it, because I think as we continue to live in this world where it's you're hearing from everybody all the time, it's more important than ever to know who you are and what you want and develop that about yourself.
Well, we think you should definitely go see the movie Jerry Maguire, but there's also some shows we think you should pay attention to. That's next.
Hey, babe.
Yeah.
You had me at hello. You complete me. The human head weighs 8 pounds. During the break, I was just telling Lauren she should try to watch this new movie called Star Wars. It's really a father-son pick. Let me give another reveal. You know what? I love and have seen Star Wars. I've never seen The Godfather. This is getting weird. I gotta watch it. A good movie for filmmaking, I think. You know what I've heard. That to me oddly is more understandable than not seeing Jerry Maguire. Yeah, because The Godfather was a long time before. Yeah, but I'm in this business. You are in this business. Well, you're not like a film. Have you seen my maker. Works? Please. But no, I think I can understand Godfather more than Jerry Maguire, because Jerry Maguire is just such a spectacular. Check out my Instagram. Some people have said Scorsese. Okay. Okay. All right. We have many movies we need to get to and recommend to each other, but we want to recommend a show to you. Everybody, if you are not watching Slow Horses, now is the time. Here's why. Slow Horses on Apple TV starring Gary Oldman, and it's an ensemble show with a lot of other not as well-known actors, but such an incredible show to the point of it just made news. They just finished filming season 5. They've renewed it through season 7.
Well, actually, so season 5 will be out September 24th.
Yes.
Season 6 is already in the can.
Okay.
Season 7 has already been ordered.
But that's my point. They haven't even aired season 5 yet, and they've greenlit 2 more seasons.
So
That's how good this show is.
I'm very excited. Gary Oldman is just a force in this, and he's so grotesque. You can smell him. And if you watch the show, if you watch the show, you know what I mean. But he's brilliant in it. And then there are some unknowns that just rise to the occasion and put on great performances. But what I really wanted to say, more than just the show, is I really respect the fact that they are pre-ordering these shows. One of the biggest problems I think we all have with TV right now is there's no longer a show premieres, it's going well, and now we order either more episodes or we already put the order in for the next season. There's a show you and I both love, and a very good friend of mine works on it, called Paradise. Mm-hmm. That came out like a year ago, and it really captivated everybody, and it was really doing well. They're taping it as fast as they can. They're still in production. It's coming out I think around the holidays. So I think the problem with this day and age is they produce shows, we see how they do, then you order them, then it takes another year to produce.
Because they wait for the critical response to greenlight things. And it's like, we miss seasons, we miss appointment viewing. Well, Slow Horses is all those things. It's about a misfit group of agents and them solving crimes in the MI reject world of England. So we can't recommend it enough. You can binge it all now before season 5 comes out.
Yeah, and then go find the classics that you haven't seen and watch them. And thank you for watching us each and every day right here on Merit. We do it every weekday, and you can listen to us wherever your favorite podcasts are found. Always appreciate you giving us your time, and we will do it again next time, because we have a lot more drama to get through.
Hey, Dr. Phil here. My network, Merit TV, has it all.
Now, let me blow your mind.
Merit TV's got the news that matters.
The selection of a new pope.
Entertainment you crave.
Busted.
Everybody in a good mood today?
And live events.
Surprise. What am I, chopped liver?
With serious punch.
Big shot!
Go to merittv.com and download the Merit TV app today.